Okay, go ahead.
Okay. All right, I'm calling this meeting to order. Please rise disabled from the flag salute.
Of the
United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Meeting is called pursuant to the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Law. This meeting of June 22nd, 2026 was included in a list of meetings that will be sent to the committee on January 5, 2026. Posted on the bulletin board at Borough Hall on that date, and then continuously posted as required. In addition, a copy of this notice is and has been available to the public and is on file in the office of the Borough Clerk.
Councilwoman Rice.
Here.
Council Vice President Engelhardt.
Here,
Councilwoman Vasaro. Councilwoman Herbert. Here. Councilman Levitt.
Here.
Council President Parker.
Here.
And Mayor Carroll.
Here. All right, we have the work session for the capital budget first. I don't know, we told Jerry to come later, right?
Well, he said 6:30.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna bring on
Bill.
Bill and Mike Campion and anybody else from the DPW that
Okay.
is there.
Mike. And Josh. I'm assuming this is you.
Yes, okay.
Oh.
No, I just might have seen it, but.
Is Josh on? Why can't I promote him? Cause he's on the phone?
You should be able to be.
It doesn't say,
Look allowed to talk.
yeah, maybe with the phone. Josh, I'm gonna allow you to talk. Okay.
Okay, who's on?
It's me.
Yep, okay. We
It's
can-
Josh.
Okay, we can hear you.
Mike, I can. Right, the council had questions for you guys on the capital budget requests. So I'm gonna let the council ask them. Trent, you wanna start?
No.
Beth, would you like to go?
I got it, Tony.
You know, you don't.
I don't have them pulled up this.
Right, we don't have the list in front of us, that's the problem.
Well, I apologize.
The budget
bringing
thing
it
that
up.
we had thing on, that's what we need.
I'll
Hold on.
Your copy of the capital budget.
Yeah, I gotta find it. I thought they had their own. That's fine.
So listen, I can actually start. So for both you, Josh, you and Ken, Josh, if you want to go first, it's fine. So here's what I'm interested in learning. So we see what you guys, your wish list, so to speak, which I'm not sure that I understand the wish list, but what projects are currently going on right now that needs to be finished before you do anything else? What are the projects that are happening to date right now?
The projects that are happening right now for water is the only thing that I'm aware of is that the engineers are working on the lead service line and the PFAS treatment.
Okay. And how long has that been going on, do you know? I mean, well, of course you know. How long has that been going on? When do you anticipate that being completed?
Completed, I don't know. It's got to be done. The lead service line, I believe the date that it has to be done by, according to the state, is 2030.
Mhm.
And the PFAS, they've been going back and forth with the final date. I'm not positive because it's changed several times on when it has to be done. But the latest I got from them is the end of this week or early next week, we should have the treatment train design to make sure it's all going to work with what we have. Once they have that in place and everything, then they're going to work on if any of the buildings needed to be made bigger or anything like that.
Josh, that was extended by the federal government to 2031 completion for small treatment plants like ours.
Okay.
If I may add, July 2nd, we'll be opening bids for the water main replacement on Shields Ave in the township, Pennsylvania Ave in the township.
I'm sorry, that's that's for what? Say that again?
For the water main replacement.
Is that different than what Josh is talking about?
Well, that will happen this year, sir.
Right, but is that a part of the project that Josh is talking about?
No,
Okay, so
That's left over from when we were doing the tank job. That was going to be with the tank job, which has been, the tank itself has been done.
okay. So what's remaining to be done when I ask about projects that have not been completed that are in progress, that would be this water main replacement?
correct.
Okay. Is there anything else underwater?
Not that I can think of, no.
No, sir.
Okay. And then for this assets management, and the SCADA replacement, what exactly is the asset management and the SCADA replacement?
So the SCADA replacement, we have money in an old USDA loan that does not need to be capital anymore. We did find money, and that is one of the things we're allowed to use it for. The asset management, go ahead. I'm sorry, Tony.
Sorry, so this 160, does not need to be in the capital. We don't need to budget for this.
Nope, that could come out.
Interesting. Okay. Now, okay, so the asset management, what is that?
Asset management, a few years ago, the state of New Jersey came up with this thing we had to do. It's actually a while ago, but they implemented it a few years ago. So the borough water utility had to go through and list everything that we have, how long it lasts, from like screws and bolts up to big equipment. And then with that, there's a formula. When you run the formula for what we have, they were suggesting that everybody put that amount of money away a year, so that if you had those things go bad, the things that need to be replaced, they're basically trying to make you save and make you budget. That was so we took that formula, we plugged it in, and that was the number we came up with.
So the 300,000
for our system.
So the $300?
Yes.
Okay, so is that $300,000 year over year?
It's supposed to be, yes. Now, that does not take into account any loans that you have and stuff that we're spending money on with loans. So you can kind of subtract out of that for the state purposes.
I'm sorry, I'm confused.
So it's for things that we're not anticipating.
It's a reserve schedule.
Okay, so
So it covers the life of objects we put away every year, so when things break, we have the money set aside. It's a reserve schedule like you would do for a building.
Correct.
Right. So
but that's up to us in terms of it's $300,000 versus $100,000 versus $200,000. I'm just trying to understand I understand you ran this formula, but that formula does not
Correct.
be the word of whatever. It could be whatever we want it to be, correct?
So yes and no. So yes, it can always be whatever you want it to be. As far as what they came up with the asset management plan, when we plugged everything that we have in. Now, take this with a grain of salt, because they're telling you that, let's say our well pump is supposed to last 5 years.
Mhm.
We all know it could go sooner, or we could get 10 years. Maybe even if we're lucky, 15 years. But according to their formula, that was the number that was when we plugged everything in, and we said that was what they recommended, putting away a year, so that if these things went at their anticipated time, you would be able to replace them.
Sorry, just to be clear, we're not spending this $300,000 immediately on anything. It's for savings.
So it's-
Correct.
We are going to bond to save.
That's what I'm confused.
Me too.
You're saying exactly where I'm coming from, and the
That-
$160,000, which we don't need to even be in here. Then
Correct.
for that, so I don't get why.
Why would I do that?
Exactly.
So basically, the state is just telling you they want you to do $300,000 of improvements a year. So if we do a bond ordinance like we did, a couple of years ago for $1 million, or we have that grant that we got to do $1.2 million, that's 4 years worth of this 300,000 that would count, towards that. So it's just that's what they're basically telling you should do every year is 300,000 of improvements at a minimum.
But
Correct.
okay, but is that to be bonded or is that just to be set into reserve? Because we do have a
See,
reserve.
that was
Go ahead.
that was always the question, whether or not it should be a capital thing or whether or not it should just be a regular budgetary line item. That was always the question. They never answered that. They don't really, my understanding, they're not worried about where it's coming from, just so that we're aware that this year, let's say 10 things came up for their life expectancy. So if all 10 of those things failed on their life expectancy failure, then we would need somewhere around that amount to replace everything.
Right, but we should know what we do expect this year. So what do we expect to need to do that isn't already like a project that's being bonded for? Do we have 300,000?
Correct. Understand what you're saying.
That we're expecting to do this year?
Not at this time that I'm aware of, but this is, like I said, this is for everything in our whole system when it comes to everything. The problem I have with this, and Bill, you can help me out if you can. So this includes everything. So some of our O&M, regular stuff that we buy. So if a sodium pump goes bad, that's a $400, $500, $600 item. If that goes bad, we buy it. So some of this stuff is already coming out of O&M. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's
That's
coming
why
out of the
I think
regular
this
budget.
probably. Right. So the 300,000 should probably have been put towards the regular budget. The issue we have is some of these things will last more than, 15 years or 5 years?
5
Then
years.
you can go to capital.
Correct.
Yeah. So that's the thing. Like when you replace a well pump, that's supposed to last more than 5 years. So that could be a capital purchase. But some of the smaller stuff may only last 3 years, or that's the life expectancy. It might go longer, but that's the life expectancy of it.
So here's the question.
So this whole asset management thing is very tough for me because what we're trying to do to appease the state and what the state, like, there's not a lot of guidance on how to break it down other than the formula of this is what you would need a year.
Fair enough. So here's my question. How, obviously this is not the first year of doing it. How much money is in that reserve at this point? Because
I don't know if there's any. Is there any, Bill?
We haven't been putting it in reserve. We've been basically doing ordinances as needed. So it's, we haven't been setting aside 300,000 or anything. I think we have maybe like 100,000 in an ordinance that was for general maintenance improvements.
So
basically we've been putting it in capital, and then if you guys are okay with it, when we actually needed it, that's when we would go, correct, Bill? And then get it?
And the majority,
Okay.
I mean,
So
the reason why is because we've been getting a lot of grants to do these things. So we haven't had to
Correct.
put it actually in the budget to fund it because we got the grants.
So this is just an
Gotcha.
estimate for planning purposes. We're not actually gonna put a bond out for no reason that we don't actively need, right?
Not correct. Not unless something came up that all of a sudden we needed to, do a major improvement. And that's why we put it in the budget as something that is a potential project. So it gives you the ability, if you had to, you could borrow that 300,000, but it doesn't mean you have to.
So here's what I get, and correct me if I'm wrong. So the truck replacement and the pickup truck is what you really need this year, correct?
Correct. Yes.
We don't need to really worry about this year, correct?
Correct. In the past, what's happened was, and if I'm wrong, Bill, correct me. In the past, my understanding was it was put into capital, just so you guys were aware that that's there, that's what that's for. And then let's say 2 weeks from now, a pump fails. and we have to spend $15,000-$20,000 to replace it, that's when I would give Bill the price of what it would be to replace, and then that's when we would bond or whatever for that amount. Or if we were really unlucky and we had multiple things go wrong and it cost more, we would add them all up and then do it that way. Correct, Bill?
Correct.
Bill, does that work for you?
For me,
That's
yes.
okay with me if we continue. Yeah.
Okay. And Bill, I'm sorry, can you refresh my memory? I know we talked about this last time, it didn't stick in my brain. What is the distinction between the capital fund that we put money into every year and bonding for these things?
So capital fund, with the capital improvement fund is money that you raise in the budget as a line item called capital improvement fund, which gets moved over to the capital account as an amount that can build up to either fully fund a project or to be the down payment 5% of a project. So, yes. So because our two utilities are self-liquidating, meaning they generate enough revenue through their, sales of the water and stuff and the sewer department, they are not required to have a 5% down payment. So that's why they don't have like bigger capital improvement funds than they currently do. I think I don't know, I have the number off the top of my head, but that we've been building up the general capital improvement fund because the general improvements are required to have 5% down payment.
Okay, so in the case of water, the truck replacement and the pickup truck, if I do my math right, is adding up to $255, right?
Yep.
And so, am I hearing that there's not $255 in the water capital fund?
There is not, no.
Got it. How much is there in that fund?
I don't have the number, but I think it's under probably 50,000.
Okay.
So the point of it is the 255 we need to worry about,
Correct.
and not the
Okay.
715. Which is why I do this exercise.
Great. Okay, so we've got a clear picture on water now. That was so helpful. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Josh, that was great. Thank you.
Excuse me,
You got it, guys.
we're not done with the water yet.
Okay, go ahead.
On the Shields Ave, Pennsylvania Ave water replacement, bid opening July 2nd. To be remaining USDA funds. If the bids come in higher than the remaining funds, we will have to fund the rest if we choose to do both projects. Or council can decide just to do one of the projects this year. Next year, bid it out again. Numbers coming right, do that project.
Okay, so that kind of makes sense to me. So the point of it is we don't know what we don't know. So the quotes are coming in when? When are the quotes coming in?
July 2nd.
Okay,
Estimated cost is 1.9 million. Hopefully it comes in under that.
okay. So it's if it comes in higher than 1.9 million, we need to be concerned. Is that correct? That's when we need
Yes.
to make decisions.
A decision will have to be made,
Okay.
whether we
Fair enough.
bond out for the rest to complete both projects or just do one this year and one the following year.
I'm not a big proponent of bonding anything this year, but that's just.
So, Bill, is that what Mike just described, is that represented anywhere on the cover sheet of the capital projects workbook?
That wouldn't be on there because that was a project that was done, funded a couple of years ago.
We talked about that during the regular budget.
Yeah.
This particular project, because it's associated with the well up on the hill.
Right.
Yeah, so that's where it gets confusing when they cross years. I mean, you're still kind of finishing a project from a few years ago, so it's not going to show up in this year's budget.
But that goes back to my question. what are we doing? What is being done now? What projects are happening right now? That's really is the question. So this is one of the projects that's happening right now. Correct?
Correct.
That's what I'm trying to understand is how many projects are out there that are not completed? That's what I think the council needs to know.
That may not be part of this particular capital
Right.
projects list.
But because you're gonna run it, because to your point, we may run into a snag if it's a higher than $1.9 million, then we need to be concerned about it. But we know that this is a project that's going on. I'm just trying to get a heads up on what projects are out there and what the potential impact, financial impact will be to the borough for this year. That's all I'm trying to find out.
So it would be a helpful exercise then to review the list of existing ongoing projects out of capital that, and identify, aside from the Shields Avenue water main replacement, are there other projects where it's possible that we could come up against an unexpected expense this year?
Exactly. That's exactly right. That's all I'm trying to get down to. Anything else underwater?
I have one question.
Yeah, please.
When we do these bonds, right? Like, I know certain things in our budget are expected to be paid for out of the revenues that the water utility gets from billing, right?
All of it is to be paid out of water utility.
All of these.
100%.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
So is there anything else in water?
Not that I can think of, Tony.
Okay. Mike, are you good with water?
Yes, sir.
So then, thanks again, Josh. This was extremely helpful. I really appreciate the feedback.
Well, before we
And then-
move off to them, I'm sorry. Brandon, did you have any questions for Josh?
No.
Susan, did you? No, for wondering, okay. All right,
So now let's move over to sewer.
let's move over to sewer.
So,
This meeting, thank you.
so, really, come on, let's not do this today, Marcia. Let's not do this.
Tony,
We're both up
let
here
me
at the same
please
time.
proceed In an orderly way, please.
That is fine.
Let the members ask questions about these budgets.
So that's fine. Okay, so let me keep moving on. The sewer. So, and just so that you know, I think I told you this, so that everybody knows, I was at a governor's function last week, and I did run into, the lieutenant governor and a couple of other people, and they told me to send this information on the RMUTA to them. So hopefully we can get we'll get you an audience that you can talk to them. So I just want to let everybody know that I'm following up on this whole thing with RMUTA. Okay, so Ken, what on this list needs to happen this year?
The road garage repairs is something we've been doing the last few years rather than doing a big bond out. We've been doing these small capital improvements. Last year we did paint and windows, paint on one of the building and windows. This year we wanted to do the other two buildings to paint that are there and some insulation. The 20-year sewer replacement plan, the big number is similar to what Josh is saying. 10 years ago, that was a 30-year replacement plan. We have been relatively successful in replacing about over 30% of the infrastructure in the last really 20 years. So what was a 30-year plan is now a 20-year plan. This is one of those numbers that it generally hasn't been taken out of capital. It gets wrapped into these larger replacement projects. The Flemington Wet Weather Facility implemented plan is tied in with those discussions on the future of the wet weather facility, helping us fund that future solution that is needed this year. The EPA money is more about trying to end the ACO than fund the project itself. This is the money I'm requesting to fight the administrative consent order, not the money needed to actually pay for what they want done. The,
Seven is like legal fees and that kind of thing?
yeah,
Got it.
the Flemington wet weather facility tank repair. That is a DEP mandate to make repairs at the wet weather facility. Because the permit is in question right now, that hasn't been enforced. So we are required to pay 80% of all improvements to the wet weather facility. It's kind of in a holding pattern. I do not believe it's going to come in this year that that facility will be settled, but it seemed foolish to pull it just in case it was. Be aware that this is a real bill that will come down the line once whatever is decided with the wet weather facility is decided.
So Ken, I'm sorry, let me just stop you right there for a second. So this wet weather facility whole thing is because RMUTA is actually pushing back on some things as well, right? And so we don't really see that's coming to fruition in 2026. It'll probably come into fruition in 2027, if at all, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, okay. And then on the 310, that goes back to what Josh was saying on the asset management thing, is that sewer replacement plan is something that really should not be in this, in something that we would be bonding for. It should just come out of capital. That's what you're proposing, correct?
Correct.
Okay, just want to make sure. And then on the wet weather facility implementation plan, can you just explain a little bit more about that, please?
There was 6 potential options with the wet weather facility based on what comes out of the legal fight RTMUA has with the DEP now. Those 6 plans, we've kind of talked internally about. What's best for Flemington is to keep the facility in operation the way it is and try and beat the permits. So this money is spent trying to enforce that, or going to a different plan if it's lost on the legal side. So again, there's 6 different options with some pretty big price tags, but this is money used to study which one is best. We're going to continue with the fight that we have right now until we can't fight that fight anymore.
Okay, just for clarification, the EPA and the Flemington wet weather facility, that's 2 different things, correct?
Correct. Yeah, the EPA is the administrative consent order. The wet weather facility is the DEP and the permit issue with the wet weather facility.
Okay. This is the permit thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Thank you. All right. And then the aerial flyover and GIS conversion?
The last flyover Flemington did was from 2007. So at that time, you flew a plane, you took a picture, a very detailed picture of Flemington. It's been a lot of construction changes since then to now. The hotel, Stangle Road, Senior Center, a lot of development. We do a lot of engineering in-house. That flyover gives us the ability to do our own updates much, much more accurately than going to the engineer every time we need something surveyed. We can basically drop our own points in the map and not need the engineers by doing this.
That would benefit all 3 departments, sir. That would be stormwater,
Trying to get her.
water, and sewer.
What? What happened?
It's gonna close if we don't.
Close it.
If we just.
I was like, Zimmer.
Okay, so that sounds like we're spending money to save money on engineering fees, right? And improving accuracy.
Correct.
Promise you, save money.
Got it. Okay, so what I'm seeing then is the sewer replacement plan this is money we're supposed to be setting aside, not something that we would bond without having more to do to attach to it yet, right?
Correct.
The wet weather facility, if we should happen to get through all the rigmarole this year. We want to make sure we're prepared to bond for that.
Correct.
Right, okay, so then the other things add up to like $119,000. Do we have at least some of that in capital improvement funds that so we wouldn't have to bond for it?
144.
I think we have about 25,000 in their capital improvement fund.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, your math is probably better than mine.
No, I think you may have missed the number, that's all. I couldn't see where you did that. Oh, good.
Okay, I think that's all my questions on sewer. Anyone else questions on sewer? Fred?
No.
Susan?
Yeah, I'm sorry to do this to you guys. Can you guys do, for the record and for anybody that's listening or is in the room, can you just explain in layman's terms the weather facility issue? Because I don't necessarily know if everybody understands that.
Yeah.
But as far as it's, we've heard it a million times, but the general public maybe hasn't.
Not all of us have heard it a million times. I was gonna ask another time, but yes, I would very much like to know the answer to that.
They explained it at our meeting, like,
I know they did, but where this is specific to this, this
To this
subject,
budget.
I think it might be helpful just to go over it again, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Thank you.
So good at it.
The Flemington Wet Weather Facility,
You bring
Yes.
it to a good level, so, thank you.
explain it to us.
Okay. Go ahead, Ken. Sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you.
the Flemington Wet Weather Facility is located behind Hunter and Central. It's a sewer plant that only operates when we receive large amounts of rainwater or flows that exceed 1.35 million gallons a day. The plant is owned and operated by RTMUA, but Flemington pays 80% of the cost of the operation. 100% of Flemington sewer's flow goes through it. The problem we're having right now is that the DEP's permit, which gets renewed every 5 years for this facility, has implemented new treatment standards that the facility cannot meet. The RTMUA is currently battling legally with the DEP to try and mitigate those new treatment standards. This is big because it's being treated as if it's a fully operational sewer plant. It's not. It's a facility that only runs when it rains, which is basically the equivalent of 10 to 13 times a year. By not running all the time, you cannot average down the samples taken, which is what most sewer plants do. You get one bad hit, you take a bunch more hits, you average it down, you're okay. This facility can't do that because it runs once, you take a sample, you get a bad hit, you're hurt. Beyond that, the limits that they set were incredibly stringent, very, very difficult for any facility to actually make, especially one that does not run all the time. So fingers crossed, RTMUA is doing everything in their power. We're offering all the support we can to them to win this battle, but it's a real concern on what the future of that facility is. That's the overview of it.
That's a perfect summary. Thank you. A couple questions related to that, again, more for just the public to understand. Does the Raritan Townships go through that facility as well?
20% of the Flemington service area goes through that facility, which they're responsible for 270,000 gallons of the flow that goes through that. We're responsible for 1.08 MGD. So it's an 80-20 split. 80%'s us, 20%'s them of the total flow that's allowed to go through the facility.
That's the RTMUA's big facility, not the wet weather facility.
No, this is just the wet weather facility. Their main plant is 3.8 MGD. The wet weather facility is 1.35 MGD.
And I don't expect you necessarily to know this answer, but how many other municipalities, maybe a guess in the state, have this type of facility versus like a full-time facility?
0.
Why? Like, why are we the only ones?
There are other facilities in the country. This facility is completely unique to Flemington. This is Flemington's sewer plant from 1970. When RTMUA built their fully operational sewer plant, they took this facility completely offline. RTMUA really never calculated the true flows coming from Flemington when it rained. Every time it rained in 1970, they were knocking the new plant offline. This facility, it was decided to put back online to protect the main plant when these heavy rain events happened until Flemington gets its I&I issues, inflow and infiltration, under control. So every 5 years since that permit has been created in 1970, it has failed in the eyes of the DEP. It's been fought and brought back. What's different now is the EPA's involvement. It's made it much difficult for us to continue to operate that facility. With global climate change, these facilities are popping up more and more frequently throughout the country. DEP is a tough environmental state. They don't like any kind of change. They don't have a box for the wet weather facility. They treat it like a fully operational sewer plant. It is not a fully operational sewer plant. That, and again, as a flyover, that's in a nutshell what's going on with that facility.
The state versus the feds. Can you give me an idea of, I know that we don't know and we've been fighting this for a long time, and how long have we really geared up? When I say we, I mean the RTMUA, talking to both the state and the feds, and which one is the more difficult entity to deal with?
I can only speak from my interactions. So the EPA is much harder of an organization to deal with than the DEP, and the DEP is not easy.
Right.
The EPA is a much tougher fight.
Thank you.
You done, Susan?
Yes, thank you.
Andrew, you have any questions?
No questions. I know we reviewed this quite a bit when I was on Public Works, so very familiar with it. Thank you, Ken.
That leaves you, Mike Rose. And any other questions for Mike? Susan?
Sorry, I was taking notes here.
So I guess just an overarching question, because these are all relatively small dollar amounts.
Right.
Bill, is this is just things that can't be covered by the capital improvement fund? Seems like a pretty small dollar amount to borrow out for.
I agree.
Well, we could, I mean, if you wanted to fully fund it, we could, with the capital improvement fund. It's just, I don't know what other projects you have that we, because we're required a 5% down payment for any large project. So if you're planning on anything bigger, we would have to have percentage down payment.
Well, there's the Sally Port. That's going out for a bid for the design. It's not even for the project, it's to design the project and engineer it. So there's that, we'll get that back.
Right.
Well,
Yeah, the wells. So can you give us an estimate, Bill? And I don't mean like right here on the spot, but just as a follow-up of what the potential 5% down payment would look like for those, so we know whether we have room to wiggle or not.
Yeah, it's not a problem.
Rather,
Awesome.
what's in our current fund for that? It's like the dollar amount.
Again, I don't have the number with me, but I think it was a little over 400,000.
yeah.
I know we used a lot of it when we bought the
That's fine.
fire truck.
It's 300,000 given was by Governor Murphy at my request, and then there's about 100,000 that we've gotten from the county. So that's all for the Sally Port. The well has 1.2 million in it. From Congressman Malinowski.
And that's all already in the capital improvement fund?
That's in the bank.
That's what's in the bank.
That's what's in the bank. The Sally Port is estimated to be about all in, I mean, right now it's just the bid design, which is gonna be about 200,000, so 5% of that. And then the build out is probably gonna be about 800,000 if we do it this year. And it is a requirement by the Department of Corrections to get it done before we do anything else with that building. And then the well is estimated at 1.7 million right now. So that's another 500,000 that we don't have, but we have to put down 5% for the entire amount.
So Bill,
Mayor, that does not include the easements we need.
Correct.
So the money that's in the bank now is really truly, it's basically a locket. There should not be wiggle room, right?
There is no wiggle room on any of that. They were awarded grants for direct projects.
Okay, so I'm sorry, can you just explain to me the difference between in the capital improvement fund and in the bank?
Well, I mean, but we have the money. It's
So-
not, we actually have cash for those projects. It's not leftover bonds that are just like floating out there as
And it's tax.
money that was in a
Okay.
bond, but not that we spent it, and we didn't take that money. This is actual money. The $300,000 from Governor Murphy and the money from the county came in as checks. It's actual money. It's not a promissory note where we took a line of credit, like a bond is a line of credit, until you spend it. And you're paying interest on it, but it's not, Bill finds like little bits and pieces left over from other bonds, like the water, right, you mentioned.
So, but Bill, in addition to things like this being in the capital fund and bank account, we put money away from in every budget to the capital improvement fund. So what is there above and beyond that 1.6 million currently in the capital improvement fund that's not dedicated to something specific?
Well, so I will get you that number, but I gotta give me like 45 minutes and I'll get it to you. But it's the 1.2 million and the 300,000 are both grants. So that's why they're handled differently than the capital improvement fund. So they're actually in the grant fund, and I don't think we did the 1.2 million yet because we haven't done that project, but we'll put that in the grant fund once
Okay.
we're ready to go with it. The 300,000, we already inputted that. So what those actually run through the budget through the into the grant fund. So that's kind of a different pot of money. But yes, those are ready to spend without us having to borrow anything.
So if I'm doing my math right, you can check me there. I'm hearing there's another 800K in addition to what we already have to do the Sally Port. And there's an estimated $500,000 above what we already have for the well.
So we have 400,000 towards the Sally Port.
Yeah.
Our architect's estimate to get bid documents done. So the project hasn't been designed or engineered. And the scope of the bid that went out on the street is to include the documents, so we can have everything and then we can put it out to bid.
Right.
And that's what
Okay.
we'll know what that project's gonna actually cost.
Okay.
The estimate from our architect 2 years ago was that all these documents are gonna run about 105,000, that was 2 years ago. So let's call it 200,000, so we still have 200,000.
Okay.
But then if the project comes in at, it's gonna cost us 800,000 to build it, we need another 600,000.
Okay.
Okay,
And then did I get the math right on the Sally Port? We've got, or sorry, the well.
the well, so the well was estimated in 2022. When Mayor Driver applied for that money, the well portion of that application was $1.2 million from the well. And that was what we were awarded, but since then, with costs and everything else going up, our engineer estimated that same project at 1.7 million, not counting, as Mike said, the easements for the lines to get out. Which we don't have.
Got it. Do we have
any.
That's under
That's
legal,
how
and
much
we can't
that
talk
would be.
about that.
Okay.
That's under all kinds of stuff, and information identification.
So Bill, here's my question to you. So here's the question. So I'm looking at the numbers that you gave us on this capital projects in a little bit. And if we look at just the 125 and then that Mike is asking for, and then we scratch everything else out, I get like 754,000. So I just want to make sure that that's correct, because what I'm looking at is the 120 for the police, 30 for the rescue squad, 23 for fire department, 175 for the library, 125 for Mike's project, and then if we take out the 300 and the 160 from Josh's, that leaves us with 255. And then if we take out from Ken the 310, 300, then that leaves us with the 25, the 52, and 40. And that gives us 144.
Correct.
Okay, so here's the question. So that number changes drastically than this 1.8 that was originally 1.896, I think it is, around that. That's originally proposed on this, that was pushed, that you wanted, that somebody wanted us to push through, but the bottom line is it's really not that. It's really the 754,000. And so with the 754,000, is that something that can come out of the capital project, or is that something that we need to bond?
You don't have enough to fully fund that. You would have to bond at least a portion of it. Plus, the library, we have to get a true figure for the elevator.
Oh, this is not a true figure?
Well, that's what they gave me initially, but it's probably going to be, maybe 250, 300.
Oh,
That's, they got I don't know that they ever got a quote. That was an estimate they got, but just, I've done a couple elevators and I know you can't replace an elevator for 175,000.
Yeah, I think we even talked about that.
So we
I know
could-
it's not close.
so we need another $100,000 to put in this. So then let's just say this is gonna be 854, I'm sorry, 854. So how much of that would we need to bond if we wanted to do these projects? Because it's certainly, the number is certainly not $1.8 million. That's my point. It's not that high that we would bond. It's more like $800,000 or $850,000, correct? And so how much of that would we have to bond? That's really the question.
I would say you probably would have to bond about 600,000 of it.
Okay.
Because I don't think you want to wipe out your capital improvement fund completely.
So I think would be helpful for me, and I'm just speaking for me, and you guys can weigh in on this. I think if this sheet can be cleaned up on what is the reality at this point, and then what your recommendation is for bonding, I think that versus taking it out of what we have, I think that would be helpful.
Based on the feedback that you've gotten tonight.
Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
Mike, do you want to add anything else?
I do not, Mayor.
And Josh?
No, I'm good.
Anybody up here have any final questions for Mike or Josh? All right, thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for help.
Thank you a lot.
Thank you.
Patience.
Jerry, you're up.
Okay.
You have 7 minutes.
What's that?
37 minutes, I'm sorry. So you have 7 minutes.
We'll take a break. How's everybody doing?
Good.
I'm driving. It was very wet outside.
Yeah.
I didn't plan that drive to.
All right. So, what I did is I sent the mayor my, just so we're talking about the same proposal, the original proposal, then I created a 3-year plan just so we know what type of direction we need to go into as far as what the police department needs to be. So,
Is this the one that she forwarded at 2 o'clock today?
probably.
You're the one that I got at 1:11.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh,
I mean, I didn't get a chance to look.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Been a little busy with the
No, it's fine. It's, I just wanted to make sure I was looking at the right one.
The original one, the 26 budget proposal, capital proposal, I did like, I don't know how long, ago, I can't remember the original. But, that's the one with the patrol cars, the police officer, the block camera. I did make changes with the patrol rifles, which I can go into detail about. The less lethal, beanbag shotgun. I asked for 2 speed signs and these new message boards. They're actually more portable. They're not like trailers. You set up like a almost like we'll go an easel with the board on there. So it'll be communications for like sidewalks or events that are happening.
what prevents them from falling over?
That's how well they're made. They're it's a pretty tight easel with a battery component and everything. They're kind of new, but they would definitely help with communications of certain things from events to we were doing police action or something in the
So
area.
you're proposing, I was really surprised to see this breakdown, a cop a year.
Yeah,
Is that because of the population increase in Flemington?
part of it is it's a two-part reason. For us to start a police officer, it's about 10 months between the academy and the field training. For them to come offline by themselves, and then to learn the job and learn the skills that are, that are functioning and operational by themselves. It's an individual thing for additional 12 to 24 months, be really efficient at their job, being able to handle calls, being able to make decisions without always checking with somebody. Because it's a high stress, high impact, quick decision job. And it really builds up the confidence to do that. Takes a little bit of time. The additional officer is for the expansion of what's happening, what we're seeing in policing. What we're seeing is a lot of calls that require not just one officer anymore, there's 2 officers.
What kind of calls are those?
Mental health, motor vehicle crashes, domestic violence, anytime where you're dealing with a lot of people or a group of people, investigations, everything outside of basic calls for service and traffic stops now just about require 2 officers, if not for work purposes, just for officer safety purposes. Obviously, you can't handle a domestic with 2 or more people by yourself. We're past those days. Mental health calls are another one. You just don't know what this person's gonna do. So you like to have that second officer there, and it's almost a requirement to have that person there, so some sort of backup. And the other reason I'm suggesting it now is because in the next 4 years, we're gonna see a 30% loss in the department. I know for a fact that, I have probably another 3 or 4 years in.
I'm sorry, say that again. It's hard to hear.
30.
A
We're gonna have a 30% attrition over the next 4 years?
Yeah.
From retirements?
From retirement. Well, there's eligibility, and out of those 6, I know for a fact they're probably not gonna work past 25.
So that's 6 officers in 4 years are gonna leave.
But are you sure all 6 are gonna go, or is it gonna be?
There's 3 that I know for
I know
sure.
there's 3. I don't
The
know
other
if all
3,
6.
I don't know if they'll stay past the 25-year mark. I mean, I stayed past the 25-year mark. I'm going, obviously, the 30-year mark, but that's a such a decision where I don't want to see us exposed once they hit that goal.
So the top every year isn't necessarily to build up the force, it's
It's
cover attrition?
a little bit of both, yeah. and the direction that you wanna take the department, because there will be a need for them. And it'll be a smoother need.
I mean, in the last, I'm gonna say 8 months, like since maybe Thanksgiving, I thought it was just holiday traffic. I have endless complaints now about
Right.
traffic,
Exactly.
endless complaints, and it started right around the holidays, and I thought, oh, this is the holidays, but it hasn't stopped.
That's not.
At all.
And, you know, and that's part, you know, the increase, look at the projects that we have coming, or look what you, planning board has approved and where we're going. More people, more calls for service. And the other, point of this, which I don't think people realize outside the borough, is the, level of service you get. You know, if you ever resided in another area where, it's a larger scale area, you don't get that, you know, within 5 to 10 minutes, an officer's knocking on your door, if not less. You don't get that, level of service that some of these guys provide as far as their abilities and skills, as far as an EMT and really handling the situation and taking control over it. You know, no matter what crisis you're in, it's never quick enough, right? I mean, at the end of the day. But if you ever move into a location, and I've been into locations, and we've all been there, been on vacation or whatever. You know, recently I went up upstate New York. I didn't need the police, but it sure is in my head to be like, wow, you know, how far are they coming? You know. But so you get used to that level of service, and then if you start eating away at that, you're not gonna get that. Obviously, that's gonna come on to you guys, and you know, where are the cops, where are they? You know, we see it now with the guys running around going call to call. You know, everybody has an expectation, you know, my street first, where they at? I haven't seen anything. They look like they're just driving.
So, okay, so I'm a little bit confused. I'm sorry, but I didn't even get a chance, I didn't know this existed. So I didn't get, last time I checked my email was in noon. Sending access to Peter, but, the replacement I get, the attrition I get. So that's 1-to-1, so that's 6. Are you, so is it 6 and then above the 6? That's what I'm trying to understand.
I'm saying, you probably will need to bump up the squads to 4 officers.
So you need 10.
You would need, yeah.
10,
At the end of the day.
10 at this point. So 6 would be for replacing.
Yeah.
And then 4 would be in addition to that.
But build up.
But the question would really be, is it 6 this year, or is it?
No, this is
over the last 5.
It's a span.
Can I ask my question, please, and then I'll let you ask your question. So here's my question, please. Can I ask my question? Thank you very much. So my point of it is that, is this going to start 2 years from now, next year, 2 years from now, on the 4 edition? Not on the 6, on the 4 edition, when does that start?
I think we definitely would need one more sooner than later, but then we can assess the situation, which I see the direction it's going. We're definitely gonna need the officers, so I think if you start that in 27, 28, where you
Okay.
start getting the additional officers to cover that.
So is that 1 per year for the next 4 years, on that 4?
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
And then, you know, as far as the replacement officers, just working them in to where, and speaking with them and finding out what people's expectation is, what is their desire. You know, nobody wants to show their hand. I'm not gonna show my hand either about what my exit date is, just for the fact that I don't really truly know my exit date. We all have personal goals and objectives. But to have a good conversation with somebody who is going to exit, and if they give us enough notice, you know, right now, Councilman Parker and I said, we can think of 3 names right out of the gate.
Yeah.
And those dates are gonna come upon us very.
Is that in 2 years? That's in 2 years,
That's in
right?
2 years,
Yeah.
correct, and,
So that's in 2028.
2028.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
So if you hire 1 in 27 and 1 in 28, you lose 3. So you're down 1.
You're
And
already
then you
down,
hire
yeah.
1 in 29, you don't lose anybody, then you're even.
then we're even.
Then you hire 1 in 30 and you don't lose anybody, then
You-
you're 1 up, right?
Yeah.
And so you're trying to get to current level plus 4 over the next 10 years.
Exactly. That,
But only hiring
Maintain.
1 year, you're not two retire and only 1 is hired, you're not proposing to hire 2. You just wanna keep that steady 1 a
well,
year.
yeah, also, I would like to see that too, in the initial phase. But start getting ahead of it, of the officers that are.
But you only are saying 1 for next year.
I would say 1 for next year to see how,
Does that mean, that means hiring in 2027 or hiring in 2026?
having the person operational by, this time in 2027 would be fantastic.
So having a person operational by June of 2027, means you have to hire them in 2026. Like
When-
in September, like in 3 months.
I would say comfortably, like we did with the last hire, if we can get the confirmation for an academy class for January 2027. And put them in, that would give us all the way till September to have them trained and then FBO.
They're not in our operational budget.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
yeah, I'm just saying for 2027 to get that person. And maybe would be fortunate enough to get somebody who is PTC trained.
That's what I was gonna ask you, because it depends on how they come in, right?
It really
Because
does.
if they come in.
That puts
PTC
us,
trained, is that what?
yeah, PTC.
Then they don't have to go through
They
that
want to go
6
through the
month,
academy.
whatever the case
Yeah.
may be, right?
That'll
So
put
that's
us ahead of the game by 6
So
months.
it's between 3 and 9 months.
Yeah.
Depending
On who you get and what you get. I will say that's difficult. A
Yeah.
lot of departments are leaning towards going back to, the 30-year practice of actually sending somebody to the academy.
Regardless?
It's hard to find people. It's hard to find good
Well, we
quality.
got 1 this year. but-
Yeah, I mean, I think we did very well with the last 5 that we brought aboard.
So
Beth, you have a question?
what is PTC?
Police Training Commission.
Okay, what can you just explain?
That is the oversight of, all officers are licensed now. So they can control the license, they control everything about, what training is initially, or what training we need to be police officers and to maintain that licensing. So they oversee it, they're a state agency.
How does that fit in with getting someone who can be faster to?
That's already licensed, that means they've already worked
Okay.
somewhere, or they already possess that, certification.
Okay, so they've been through the academy with some other departments.
Correct, yeah,
Does former military also apply to PTC?
now,
Even if they're MPs?
no, yeah.
Even if they're MPs?
Yeah,
really?
they won't get the state certification.
Wow, that's
Some states do, but New Jersey's definitely not one of
This
them.
is so interesting. that the
You would
MPs
think.
Wow.
They just, even with corrections now, it's starting to be questionable.
Oh, whether you can bring a correction
Correct.
officer over and
Yeah,
put them right in
and
without
then
going
start
through the
putting them
training.
in like we did with a couple of the guys where we waived them.
So remind me, how much does the training cost? What is training cost?
The
for each
training
one of those officers?
itself isn't a high expense, it's probably about. I think they're charging now for academies around $2,000 to $3,000 to get them through the 6 months. And then there's the equipment cost, which is it's probably about $5,000 to get them.
So $5,000 for any new officer coming out.
Equipment and academy fees, and then.
And
obviously-
the salary we pay while.
Right, no, I was
Yes,
minusing.
outside the salary, yeah.
Yeah, I was doing that outside the salary.
Yeah,
Yeah. Specifically, yes,
So-
okay.
Yeah, so that, that's my thoughts of why I'm asking for it, or bringing it in front of you to kind of put it in your head of, this is why it takes so long. It's not an easy flip anymore to get somebody in and, to put somebody out there. You want to make sure you're fair to them and fair to the officers they work with, because, you just don't know what situation they're coming from, so you want to make sure they're adapted enough to manage it.
Jerry, the signs that you're putting in for, are they the signs like saying, road closure parade coming up? Or
Yeah,
What about the
they're,
little,
they're like the trailer signs,
Yeah.
just on a smaller scale.
what about the little, your speed sign?
Yeah, I have, those are the Shield, 12 radar speed signs.
Okay,
Those are the
That's
ones,
what
those are fantastic.
You said you have 2 of them in.
I have 2 of them in
request?
there, and this is the style printout that we've done recently. I only wrote 2 copies, but I'll start them then.
Yeah, we
They
could
be the
just-
same kind that we have now where they have to be attached to a.
No, these are where the officer has the ability, or somebody has the ability to put them on a post, like
Okay,
an existing post.
yeah,
So,
easier.
so it's not like we have to call out for a mark out, have DPW put a.
So it can be
post.
moved?
It can be moved,
Okay.
and it can be moved, just about anywhere,
Okay.
if there's a post. But that's the type of, results that we get.
Since I did not get a chance to read this, what other technological advances are you asking for in this in your strategic plan?
Body cameras.
Okay,
Next year, we're hitting our mark with our body cameras. We had them for about 5 years. What happens is the
is
warranty.
that for next year or for this year?
That's for next year. Okay. What happens is the body camera warranty, no longer exists. So if we have a damaged issue or a problem with it, we'll have to buy the body camera outright. And they run about $3,600. And within that period from this point to where we got them, we've sent 14 cameras out for repairs. Either from battery issues, from being overcharged. Everybody is obviously hypersensitive about making sure their cameras are charged up. So we're doing what we probably should be doing, which we all do with our cell phones too, is make sure it's charged, constantly plugging it in, keeping it charged. So you certainly don't want to have that die at the most crucial.
Absolutely. So what is the cost of us, when you have to repair a camera, what does that cost?
Right now, under warranty, nothing.
Okay, but if it's out of warranty?
It would be $3,600.
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed
Yeah.
that. So it's
Yeah.
$3,600 out of warranty.
Out of
And how much is a camera?
They for the whole department, next year I got a price for $73,000. That's $18,000 in the first year, and from year 2 to 5 is $13,900.
That's subscriptions, right?
It's like a subscription, and that would cover the warranty and obviously the equipment, the software. This is with the company that we currently used and have used for about, I want to say 10 years now, if not longer.
So let me just go back, because again, it'd be better if I can read this, but so between this, you're proposing this for next year? Right?
That's this year.
Oh, this is this year?
Yeah.
Okay, and how much is this?
That is gonna be $8,300 for 2 signs.
And so for next year, it would be an officer and the body cam, and what else?
And I would like to update our handguns. We've had them for.
You update handguns?
Yes.
Yeah.
How
Yeah,
long have we had them?
That date for you. We've had those guns. That would be 6 years on them. So the Attorney General Office recommends every 5 years. So what I'm proposing is I have kind of a deal in place to where our old guns will be purchased and credit given
Excellent.
for the new weapons, then we get the new weapon.
That was gonna be my next question.
So when they're
To be
purchased,
honest.
so then when they're purchased, they come back. So someone's purchasing them from us, that we put them into our.
The money comes back to offset the cost of the hand.
I mean, I'm extremely stupid and I have no problem saying that. I had no idea that you would resell a gun.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
I mean, this is an education.
I have, this year I have that in for our rifles. I'm requesting, $7,900 to, trade in 6 submachine guns for 8 rifles. And that would cycle the submachine gun down. We've had those for 15 years, so they're well past the point of probably it's time to move on to a different.
Okay, what about your vehicles?
I just constantly replace a vehicle every year for patrol. That's just to give you that cycle of not having to replace large groups of vehicles. That's with anything. If you say, oh, let's skip a year and you know, 2 years will buy you 3, well, in 10 years, you're gonna have to buy 3 again. You know,
Well, we
and
seem to have, every year there seems to be some issue, you know.
Yeah,
Whether it's
they-
an accident or a major repair, so
Yeah.
it ends up being 1 car a year for some reason.
Yeah. So
It's just not predicted what the reason is.
But
Yeah.
it's 1 car a year. It's
Just
not-
one-
You're not trying to do more. than-
No, just one, if we can continue with that 1 car a year, it's worked for years.
Is that like 81,000? That's the
That's
$81,000.
We
$81,000.
did do a couple of cars a few years ago because that practice stopped. And the girls
Correct.
were doing 1 car a year for decades. And
Yeah.
it stopped for a couple of years.
It kind of bottlenecked it a little bit.
And then we were behind, so we did a couple cars a couple of years ago, when we're
Yeah.
back on the 1 car a year.
That's right. We're back on cycle with that.
It's a predictable budget.
It is.
Can I go back to we skipped over the rifle, can I just go back
Sure.
for that for a minute? The difference between the submachine guns and the rifles, and like I said, I don't know much about arms, so I'm just curious, is it a recommended trend that they move from one to the other, and more importantly, does the officers need training with the new training, and does that come with the price?
Definitely, what we have rifles now, we have
Yeah.
rifles and sub guns.
I
So
see.
what I'm proposing is to eliminate the sub guns. So we won't have to train with that platform anymore. We'll just be doing handguns and rifles.
And you found that you just feel that's the most
That's the
practical way
most-
to do
yeah,
it?
Yeah, now
So we
they
actually would save the money on the
not having
training for the
guns.
sub.
Correct.
Does the prosecutors search team, do they have, or SWAT team, do they have subs?
They do not.
They don't.
They carry rifles.
Okay.
for the most part.
What, I'm just curious.
We did it for cost effectiveness
Mhm.
years ago, and for ammunition costs and
Mhm.
for purchasing. The sub guns were firing the same round as our handguns.
But also, because the prosecutor's office doesn't have them, and their SWAT team comes in, we couldn't use them anyway.
No, they're everything you touch with anything nowadays, it's certification, qualification. So an officer would be assigned that rifle. And if given or put in a position to where they need to be the person on the rifle, that they're certified, qualified with that rifle that they're carrying. Because it does get that detailed to where they have to have the weapon that they qualify. Even though, you know, there's 20 different handguns, that's their assigned weapon, that's what they qualify for.
Hey, Jerry, training. Is training paid for by, like, is it free training, like? Because I don't see training in here at all.
Training I'm going to go off of is what I have built into the budget.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, the operating budget. I didn't ask for any additional, because at this point, we're just functioning on that, or it's low cost or free. Usually now, obviously with the 5 new officers, a lot of that training that they are getting as far as alco tests, SSFTs, anything drunk driving related, and for their level, it's kind of included. It's free training through either through a lot of it is traffic association. Rutgers does some great stuff with motor vehicle as far as accident investigation, different levels. And you know, county does a lot of great stuff with CIT and basic our MATS training, which is use of force, pursuit, and domestic violence. So a lot of that training is incorporated. The training that we were talking about before was those extra supervisory classes and.
I guess that's where I was going.
Yeah.
Because you and I had this discussion, and
Yeah.
I do think that's important,
And
especially as you're bringing new people on.
absolutely. As we transition, those folks will need to go to those same style classes.
So is that?
That would be something
That's
that,
above and beyond, isn't it?
what's that?
Isn't that above and beyond what they offer, I know that
The stuff that we paid for, yeah.
right, that's something that you would need to pay for.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm gonna encourage you to look at that, because that's really, really important.
Yeah.
My concern is that I'm seeing like overall 10 new people coming in the
Mhm.
area of
Yeah, I would
4 or 5
definitely
years.
like
That I
to start.
do think that people, your lieutenants, and your sergeants, 1,001% need to go for, school rights.
Yeah, and I would suggest that, you know, as we look at these guys and, you know, keep them, obviously, the lieutenants and the sergeants that we have currently up to date, but we'd have to, let's really start focusing on that middle range officer that's going to, obviously, I would assume, advance, and that's how we have it.
You were listening.
Of course.
Thank you.
Always.
You made my day. You were listening. Good for you. The only other thing I want to ask, I just want to clarify real quick.
Yeah.
And that is that in 2027, 2028, we went through the offices that you, but it looks like you're bringing in 2 new officers. Each of those.
That's wishful thinking.
Oh, that's your hope. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Because I kept going, wait a minute.
Ask for the world except half of it.
No, I get it. That's the point to do it. Okay, so you're saying hire 1 to 2, 1 to 2.
Yeah,
so-
1 to 2,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Kind of.
But what it would really flip is in 2028, because you would definitely have to hire.
I think
2
you would
people
definitely, yeah.
Right off the
Because
bat,
by then,
maybe
you know,
5 people.
we'll have a little bit more information and know what direction we're gonna go in there, like. And it's, you know, it's easy to say now, like, oh, man, you know. As soon as I hit this point in my life, I'm out of here, I'm gonna change my life, and then. You know, once you get there and you're like, well, okay. Am I really ready to?
But again, we know 3 at least,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I can.
And so that's in
I
2028.
would put money on it.
So then my point of it is in 2028, it's really 4 new officers, not just 2. It'll be
Yeah.
4 because you're replacing 3 and then you want to bring an additional 1.
Yeah.
So it'd be 4.
And
That's
bear,
what I
bear
would
in
look
mind,
at.
we have that, you know, however, what part of the year they go out and their salary and everything built into the budget too.
If you hire 1 in 27 and 1 in 28, they leave the 28,
Then
you
you have,
hire 1 in 29 or 2 in 29.
I just think you gotta like, I'm, the only thing I'm saying is I would encourage you to go back to that again.
okay,
Because I think the council just needs to be realistic in terms of,
expect,
so that there's no shock factor.
Right.
Because we don't know
Yeah,
if it's gonna
that's-
be sitting
that's
in the
one of the-
seats in 2 years or whatever the case may be.
that's
Because-
why I wanted to bring it in front of you guys. Show you that it's,
Right, because hopefully what will happen is that this is given to the next set of council so that they know exactly what the background is. And they understand that this is how this was formulated, this is what it's going, and that's why I like strategic plans, because we're gonna be able to handle this all. Okay.
Anybody else have any questions for Jerry?
Yes, please.
I just have 3 very simple questions. Sure. How many cars do we have? Like in use, not ones that we just sit in front of.
they all are in use. We currently, I believe it's up to 60 cars.
How many officers?
8.
That includes some? Yes. And have we ever used, yes, I'm doing this.
Have we ever, I'm sorry, what?
Have we ever used the submachine?
Submachine
Oh.
guns, thankfully.
Lighting.
Yes.
That's it.
I don't want to say it too loud or.
Yeah, really, don't knock on wood, dude.
So a quick question on the speed limit.
Yeah.
Recognizer sign things, you got an official name for them, I've forgotten already. Is the vendor, this All Traffic Solutions, do they present data on how the relative effectiveness of different styles of those signs? Because I've seen a number of different styles. There's one in particular that I personally have felt very effective. And I'm curious whether I'm guessing it costs a little bit more.
I guess we don't have that kind right now.
We don't have that kind right now,
I guess.
and I will let you guess. I would be curious to see if the effectiveness of it is, there's data behind it saying
Yeah,
it's worth the extra money. What kind do you think I'm talking about?
I think it's one, right, like some.
No, it's the one that gives you a smiley face.
Smiley.
I
see this.
I'm all about working with psychology, and I've actually read it. It's been a long time since I've read
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I would be really curious to see.
There's a
if
frowny
there's
face
cost
and a
benefit.
smiley face.
Yeah.
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 I've
I
never
haven't
heard that.
I haven't seen one recently in this
We
area,
can
but
definitely look
yeah.
at it.
Is it a
This-
stop? No, it's,
No,
it's
it's a
a,
speed sign.
Somerville has a stop sign.
You guys?
I took a picture for,
You guys?
Somerville, I was,
this is a, speed limit is 25, your speed is 27. You get down under to 25 or under and you get a
You get a
smiley
smiley
face.
face.
Doesn't frown when you're over.
I saw them in South Carolina over vacation. Yeah.
Jersey?
That'd be great. Okay, so then my last question, and coming back to the new officer and the plan. It sounds like this is essentially, it's a succession planning strategy, right?
Yeah.
So the folks that may retire over the next few years, do you have a good handle on the folks who are already here and their growth into those roles?
Yeah, for the most part, I mean, there is a gap, we did lose officers that were at the 10-year mark. So eventually somebody is going to, once we have a good group of people that are sort of in the upper middle management, we're talking guys that are like 10 to 15 years on.
Anchor.
And then from 10 below, that's where that group of 5 people are all under under 3 years. So we really also got to educate them, and they got to realize that they're going to have to learn a little quicker. They're going to have to move a little faster to make up the gap as far as those middle guys. And right now it's a 3-man squad, and it's an honor and a privilege to kind of be a middle guy. Like a lot of it could potentially fall on you. The supervisor's off. You're the officer in charge at OIC, which carries some serious responsibility. Right now, what we're doing, if somebody under 3 years is a middle guy, we have resources for them. They can call lieutenant. Most of the sergeants are like, even if I'm off, give me a call. It's to make sure that there is success and no failures, but we can't have any problems with any type of question about should I or what should I do in this situation. And situations get muddy as water. Like it just starts. It's never clean cut. These things always happen when you least expect. We like, oh yeah, nothing's gonna happen on Christmas Day. Everybody's happy, life's good. That's not that good. That's the day that it comes. Yes.
Is there, I'm sorry, I just have a follow-up question on this. Is there a potential case where someone pretty senior leaves sooner than we might expect and sooner than the middle are ready to grow, where we might want to bring in someone?
There's a few of them that are playing the lottery.
That we might need to bring in someone who's more experienced.
That wouldn't work out too well. A lot of it is based on seniority and ranking within the department. I think we'd be pretty good, but you are correct. You just never know what's going to happen. Like, good or bad, something might happen to where they might need to not be able to do this job anymore. So it's something that we do have to put an eye on. And I know I can only do so much as far as jockeying shifts and making sure it's as even as possibly can. But if that situation did arise, we'd have to look and see what we need to do to make sure we put the right people in the right position. Scary thought. So.
Thank you.
Anything else?
I do, but I'm looking at the time, so I don't know if we go more than 3 minutes. So
Started the meeting at 5:30.
I know, I didn't know if there's a trigger at 7 or anything. Okay, great. So Jerry, a couple of things. I want to go back to one of the things that that the mayor said. And right at the beginning, where we were talking about traffic, and that one of the things that you need is more police officers to deal with traffic, and frankly, speeding is also kind of part parcel of that, I think, right? So question for you, and this is more of an opinion than anything else, is the mayor said she's getting so many more calls, right? Then it's since Christmas it hasn't stopped. But what do you think is the cause of that? Because at least locally in our square mile, we have 4 projects that are, new construction, 2 of which are literally not even, going vertical yet. One of them's only been renting for a few weeks, and the Spice Factory is, starting to fill up. And I don't even necessarily know how many people are in there yet. It couldn't be that many. So what do you think is the cause of the traffic specifically over the last 6 months that's increased?
The only other thing I can think of is that there's a lot of projects countywide as far as other municipalities.
So
that
people are cutting through.
Have brought in a lot of people quickly. The Willows in Brereton Township, for example. And then I know there's a couple complexes in Reddington, a couple complexes in Clinton Township that weren't there. Like there's large groups of buildings, apartment buildings that weren't there. I mean, you look at Enclave and I forget what the original apartment complex that next to Health Quest was. Those are pretty large complexes. I don't know if you guys have been over by Health Quest and saw those. And I think those are pretty much full.
So one behind it is totally full by, I think they're both full.
Yeah.
Or Enclave might be 90-something% full, but the one behind it,
97%.
Yeah.
one behind it is
And that other-
100% full. since
And I
it's
think
there.
that, just from my perspective, that other one is larger than at least it
The one
looks.
in the back.
Yeah.
It is.
So I think a lot of that is the volume of just the area and the draw and,
I think it's people avoiding 31 and using Main Street.
I don't know anymore, because now with that second lane, it goes pretty smooth.
Yeah,
There-
definitely.
in that section. Obviously though, as soon as you get past close to Highland Avenue, and underneath the railroad crossing, it chokes back up again.
Right.
So
But
maybe when they dualize the rest of 31.
That's gonna be done soon, right?
They're gonna-
What you're talking about.
They're gonna start it soon, but I
Yeah.
think it's at least a
I mean,
year long.
when I say
project.
done, I mean, yes, started, but
I
the
think
trellis.
I think it's still a couple of years away, but it should
Yeah.
help alleviate traffic.
And I don't think
To some degree.
people are getting through town as quick as they used to. I mean, that's why you see the traffic as well.
Well, the circle, is a big bottleneck, because even if you stay on 31 and you wanna go to Route 12 to go to 523 or wherever, you've got the yield sign when you come on.
Yeah,
And it becomes, that's a bad yield area, because you can sit there for a while, because all
Yeah.
that traffic comes in. So I think a lot of people want to avoid that too.
Yeah.
And
and
I don't know.
I think that 523 heading towards Stockton is insane busy too.
I mean, I see a lot more traffic, coming down Church Street to Main Street traffic light. And then taking the left onto Main Street,
Yeah.
like they're on 31 and then they get off before the before the split
Maybe
to
it's that
12.
31, the 202-31.
You can't blame them.
No, I
You
don't
can't
know.
blame them, because that's a
Yeah.
show
If
there.
I'm going 202 and I wanna go Route 12.
But it also makes sense why you would have so many accidents in the circles, because
Exactly.
people don't know how to take circles, especially if there's a visitor.
Yep.
Circles are, that's a Jersey thing, really.
Mhm.
You get outside of Jersey, you don't see circles, right?
And we have
So-
3 of them in a
so-
line.
So the bottom line is that so for me, when you say traffic, right, this is just how my mind works, because I understand traffic. I really think it is, people are trying to find a different way to get from point A to point B, and so they're looking at back roads. And so the back roads become traffic, like for instance, if you go from here to Hillsborough.
Yep.
Right, you don't go down 202, you go the back roads, and now the back roads at a certain time are back all the way up, right? Because it's still better than getting on 202 for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So I think when you're talking about traffic, it's more of a shortcut.
Yeah, I think you're right.
As far as I don't mean to interrupt, but as far as the through traffic, people that aren't stopping and doing things, because we actually also have more people stopping and doing things too, so that's a
Correct.
good thing, of course.
Yeah, that's a good, yeah.
But so I like the way your budget includes the traffic,
Yes.
Speed
The
signs,
speed signs,
studies, volume.
and I do want to mention, I just wanted to thank you for adding the 2 message signs, because I know that's something that you have expressed to us and struggled with, in that I only have 1 sign and I need it in 3 different places, so I'm
Yeah,
hoping that helps you. I'm glad that I want to thank you for addressing
Yeah.
that.
Two of those speed signs enough.
That's what I was gonna ask, are you sure that's enough?
We'd love to see more.
We have currently 2 more, but I'll be definitely willing to take more, if we
Well, I
get-
mean,
that's-
I
that's
would
what
rather
we do
you
with
ask for
them.
more and get less than ask for less and get
I'll
none.
take 6.
No,
And a smile.
but my point of it is that if you're moving signs, then is that really,
And that's what
is
we,
that
that's,
really gonna be effective as opposed to having something that's permanent, people get used to seeing, right?
well,
Because if you move it, then it no longer is, right?
correct.
That's
And
just the way it
the
works.
good thing about these, they're capable of doing both direction now too. So before we had to flip it, you know, like, oh, we're going north, now we're going south. But, and we always, with the complaint, we try to get a sign over there, so if we can get it, you know, double
I
quarter, that would be.
I would think that you would do a couple more. I
Yeah.
would start off with 4, and maybe it's
Yeah.
just me, but I would start off with 4. So again, my concern is people will do well as long as it is repetitive and they see it all the time. Once they don't see it, you go back to old habits.
And
That just, I mean, it's just how people are.
That's how, you know, what they say with, traffic enforcement in general, you know, 2 weeks will change their habits, but then they'll go back to the old ways.
Yep.
You know, they'll go back to the
Yep.
speeding, so it's a constant game of checkers that we move around, so. The more resources we have out there, that's, you know, more areas we can focus in.
I have one more question. And
Go ahead.
again, it's right from the beginning. Mental health services. I know there was an incident over the weekend and it's, mental health, I'm hearing the struggle, not just from your department, but from other departments as well that work with you, like, enforcement, you know,
Yeah.
it starts as one thing and becomes another. and,
Correct, yep.
But senior services and young people's mental health. Is there, besides more officers, is there anything you could recommend that might help your department? Because it's just kind of on my
To
mind
address it.
specifically about, you know.
It's hard because, you know, like.
It is.
Constantly with mental health, we end up dealing with the same person. Probably multiple times a week, multiple times a day, depending on what their mindset and their crisis is. Unfortunately, until the hospital
Yeah.
does a little bit more or somebody intervenes a little bit harder. But for us on a response level, it's just very time consuming as like, you know, we show up, we're there until the crisis team from the hospital shows up, and then we're there to watch them work. And, you know, I'll have a guy tied up on a call for anywhere from an hour and a half to 3 hours, just so this crisis team can try to convince this person to go out and get additional help.
So to that point, I know that there's a lot of talk of whether it's small municipalities or big cities, teaming with health, with therapeutic, for lack of a word, people to work along with police, so
Yeah.
that when you have that call, they're immediately going out with you.
That's
Is that something
that's what's
we're
happening.
transitioning to?
Yeah, it's happening. The hospital has expanded its hours to just about 24/7 now. You know, somebody will come out, a crisis worker, but the crisis worker then looks at the officer and is like, can you hang around?
And yeah, I don't blame them.
Because, you know, because now we're in their house,
Right.
you know, so that's where the officer ends up staying, and
So
Okay, so
somebody
it's happening,
keeps-
it is
some
happening
people-
now.
it is happening.
Okay.
Yeah, that is definitely happening now. I'm sure they'll tell you they need more people, which probably is, it's back.
True.
So it's, you know, it's, the crises are insane, but, you know, we even get them, you know, we've had a few at the station, they come in and, you know, they're sitting in the lobby, and it's a little more easier to manage because, you know, we're not in their environment, so we know as far as weapons and safety, you know, they don't have something readily available. Then you hear the stories of, you know, officers getting injured and or killed in the line of duty due to, you know.
That's interesting that you say that, because the other last week was walking down the street, a woman approached me. And I knew, you know, you just know something's not right, knew something's not right, and I was on my way to my house and I detoured, it's like,
Follow
better
me.
better not go there.
Yeah.
I mean, I was able to diffuse it and hold it, but it's, I'm just thinking if it were another person, I worry about high school kids and those types of kids walking down the street and someone like that just kind of follows them.
Like you hear about it, you know.
Yeah, okay.
So,
I don't want
yeah,
to belabor
that's-
the point, I'm just hoping that I just get a little concerned with the younger people walking up and down Main Street, and there are some of those people that are there. Yeah.
Anything else for Jerry? Anybody?
No, thank you.
If not, thank you.
I'll be right here.
Thanks. Bob, you here for this too?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
A very small number.
Yeah, hopefully. Sure, no,
Wonderful,
very nice.
wonderful grant email today. Love it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was pretty simple.
Yeah, okay, questions for fire department?
What you need? Well, our request this year for our capital fund is similar to last year, a slight increase, I think went from 20 to 23,000 for PPE. That is just short of what it costs to outfit more firefighters, so that'd be the four that just graduated. So that stuff's it's ordered either way. It's either coming out of our operations budget or it'll come out of this dealership budget. I'm hoping finalizing the application for the county grant to hopefully offset that cost and get some additional equipment for our guys. And if we're able to offset that cost, I would use that money towards SCBA bottles. Those run about $1,200 to $1,400 a piece. So to start,
What are the bottles? I'm sorry.
the SCBA bottles, they go into packs, the air packs everywhere. So those are those cylinders that you see. They're typically 15 to 30-year replacement cycles. So we had replaced our air packs approximately 5 years ago. Those all came with cylinders. But to start a replacement cycle similar to the patrol cars, right, where we don't want to replace them all at once, replace some models 5 years at a time, as often as we can. That way it's a little bit less of a hit on our budget. So yeah,
That's pretty much it, and I know we have equipment that is at its very end, right? And so we could have our volunteers in the borough going into a situation with equipment that's faulty and could cause them harm. So I think this is the price of having a local fire department, volunteer fire department.
Any specific questions for us?
Really just for Bill, confirming if I read this correctly, this is already covered in the 2026 budget, operating budget, right?
That you are correct, yes.
That's all I have.
You're good?
perfect. Thank you guys.
Thank you, Robbie, I appreciate it. That's 4 minutes.
So, getting into the regular agenda. A number of things tonight. First of all, we're still short newsletter articles. We've not gotten them from all the departments and certainly not all the boards. I just wanted to thank the borough for participating in the parade. It's great. And county for putting forward overtime. I wanted to address publicly 2 weeks ago, we talked about this $4.5 million grant, what happened to it. I did respond to the council regarding it, but because it was such a robust discussion in public, I thought it really should be discussed in public here. Mayor Driver did apply for $4.5 million for a number of projects surrounding Captiva and Cardinal that included sewer and water improvements down in the Hopewell Avenue area, North Main Street, as well as the well that's supposed to help service all of those. And although it was funded by Congress, it was not funded by President Biden. He line itemed it, and we got 1.2 million, as I reported. I did announce that $1.2 million letter, but as I had no transition with the prior mayor, I was not aware that it was supposed to be more than that. Nobody on council questioned it, so here we were years later trying to figure out what happened to money that we were awarded but never funded. So now we have the funding request into Senator Booker and Congressman Kane for both OEM at I believe it's 2.1 million, and finishing the police building for 1.6 million. And we'll be expecting a letter on whether we get it or not, or notice, in July. What generally happens with all of these grants is that, the mayor of the municipality gets a phone call saying, guess what, we're giving you $5 million or $4 million or $3 million. That comes from the congressional office, so, you know, the executive branch then doesn't have to give you all of it, and they don't call you. Tell you that, you get no word. So, that's the status on F45. We were awarded it by Congress. We did not receive it from the executive branch. I also just want to mention that on July 3, we want to be having a meeting between now and afterwards, reminding everybody about our fireworks and thanking Mark Kane in advance for all the money that he's raised to produce that show at Griffiths on July 3rd. July 8th on Main Street, we'll be having a live reading by a colonial reenactor of the Declaration of Independence, which happened in Hunterdon County first outside of Philadelphia on July 8th in 1776. Main Street's going to be closed from Katner to Mine for about 2 hours. At around 2 o'clock, the reading is, the gentleman's supposed to be coming down with a horse, and the reading is supposed to start at 2:30. And then around 3, and then a reenactor who goes by Ned Hector, who is a historically correct Revolutionary War hero, free Black man, will be doing a speech on, I believe, liberty. And then that all will be over by 4 o'clock. I also wanted to let everybody know that the hospital officially announced today, contacting the mayors around the county. And they put out some small release, but in case you didn't see it, they are finalizing an arrangement to partner up with Hackensack Meridian Hospital. They've been looking for a relationship with a bigger hospital for about a year, maybe longer now. And Hackensack got the nod. Also, I'm just following up on, I have a couple of notes on things to follow up on. Abandoned property ordinance. Council President Parker, you said you were gonna follow up on that.
And Chris and I have been in contact together with it. We're working on it, so it has not been dismissed.
That's fine.
But go ahead.
Okay, I'm just following up. Redevelopment Committee, Cardinal does have a scheduled meeting for the end of this month. I'm still waiting to hear from Council Vice President Engelhardt regarding a choice of dates for the Captiva Redevelopment Committee meeting. So if you could get back to me as soon as possible so we can set that, please. Sure. And I did send out a notification on Liberty Village today for that redevelopment meeting. And also regarding the insurance contract. We were gonna have the insurance, this that?
There.
Oh, okay, great. I wish I had known because DPW and Public Works and Police wanted to come in for the presentation, but I did not know. So, okay, that's all, that's what I got. Councilwoman Pissarro.
Sure, just 2 quick things. Saturday, May 30th, we had a great street cleanup. I don't know if Brent had discussed it at the last meeting, but every location was cleaned in advance of the historic home tour. And we had the assistance of a Boy Scout troop, so great thanks to them. And then just real quick, more fire department. Our chief has put through for a very nice request for money for our radios, right? So just to thank the fire department, to thank you since you're here, we're always finding ways to put the oxygen mask on yourself. It's wonderful. And the other thing is I did contact our fire marshal today. Still seeing a few issues to work through at the hotel. And the fire department will be doing a walkthrough of the hotel section tomorrow night. So hopefully we get where we need to be with that. That's it.
Thank you. First update, the long-awaited shade tree ordinance has been transmitted to the planning board, and I assume they will be reviewing it at the next meeting, and then hopefully it will come over here for our review. eventual passage. Number two, just want to say, went to the 250th parade, of course, that's great. Won the World Cup event, also a wonderful time. Everybody did excellent jobs always with our volunteers and small business owners. Mayor already mentioned, yes, the newsletter items, very cool. Number four was, I spoke to a small business owner recently, who is permitted to sell alcohol by the ABC. And they've gotten permission from them to sell it in their little outdoor dining area.
Alcohol or
I believe it's wine.
Okay.
It's mostly wine. And they've been given permission by the ABC to do this along the on the sidewalk is where their outdoor dining area. But our ordinances do not allow this. And I want to see if at some point as a governing body and council, we could find a workable solution to maybe modify our ordinances to allow such thing at some point.
So I know Ally's gonna be coming in with those guys to talk about it, because it affects more than just.
Yeah, and there's a number of restaurants that
Yeah,
also apply.
and I,
around
you
the
know,
world.
yes, and I think that's something we want to support, yeah.
I feel that way for sure.
Mhm.
And
I was gonna address this in my report as well, but from a planning board standpoint, I can follow up on that in a minute.
You have before.
also, one last thing, I did quickly borrow I noticed we didn't have one on the agenda, but I borrowed a resolution from another municipality for Juneteenth. We would care to pass one in honor of it and recognizing. And that's it.
Did that last meeting?
No, we didn't have.
Oh, I'm sorry, I apologize.
I don't know if we ever did it.
No.
Did we ever do one?
Last year we did.
We did.
I don't know.
Absolutely good.
You
I
really?
might have missed it, but
I could have sworn it was last year.
No, we did definitely do something for June.
We did.
that was it.
Thank you. Councilwoman Herbert.
Just echo the sentiments, thank the county for the great parade we had here on June 14th. Huge props to, the improvement district for putting on the Flemington Cup. I cannot say enough good things about Ally and the huge team of staff she pulled together, to produce that event. It was really phenomenal. I hope everyone got a chance to go out and savor the enthusiasm of the public. It was really exciting event and I appreciate them. And we also had a pretty nice turnout for the NAACP Juneteenth event over this past weekend. Little else to report, I've got school board coming up this Wednesday and library board coming up on Friday. And I was excited to see in other announcements this week that Flemington and the Liberty Village development were selected for the governor's permitting dashboard pilot. If anyone here was responsible for getting us on that list, I thank you. I'd be curious to see how we made it and look forward to seeing the results of it.
Are you there, when you see the library board, are you gonna see if they've got an updated number from the old one?
So I could use some guidance on, and Susan, maybe this is something you can help me with, and like how they get to an updated number. I don't.
You need to hire an architect to do an estimate. Yeah, and you and I
Okay,
can
so
talk, casually about it, but they need to hire an architect so they can do an estimate for the work. They can also just reach out to elevator vendors directly. Otis, I think it's an Otis.
They have reached out directly to the elevator vendors.
Right, I think I saw the estimate that I had seen was for the vendor themselves, but I mean like the actual, each company has their own manufacturer vendor. I think
Correct.
what you got was the service guy
Yes.
so there's a difference between those two. I can give you
Okay.
some names that they.
So, but are they gonna have to do the architect sooner or later anyway?
Yes, they are.
Okay.
I mean, but like an Otis rep can give them a ballpark, pretty quickly.
And they have an architect.
Yeah, and they have an architect, or that's why I said architect first, because they have an architect. And any architect would know it's,
Okay.
it's gonna be, I think I mentioned before, it's gonna be between 250 and
But we're gonna
300.
have to pay the architect.
Well, you're gonna have to pay the architect anyway to
Yeah.
do the design, you know, the drawing, so.
Okay, I just,
Yeah.
I don't know these things.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I need
yeah.
to be educated.
No, it's, yeah, just a
Um,
matter of fact.
Anything else? Councilman Parker.
I don't have anything, I'm just a couple of things, thank you for doing, stepping in for me for Juneteenth. I was out of town, so I didn't get a chance to go to that, and I also missed the World Cup event, which I was really sad about, but, some personal things came into play. I will say that on the 4.5 million, I am still in contact with other people who are also going to help us get that through. So I didn't drop it. I just wanted to let you know that it's still viable. And again, I went to the governor's reception, made some contacts there because I really want them to help us with this RMTUA a bit, and a couple of other issues that I wanted to address with them. So I'm actually going to be meeting with someone in the governor's office quite soon. So I'll keep you guys informed. Thanks.
Councilman Arias?
Yes. So a couple of things. One, just from the HPC, because I know that we have a new updated map. They were wondering if how we talked to about putting the map there. They were just asking me to ask.
We just need to flip it out.
Yeah, if there's an updated map for that they.
Well,
We don't have a machine that makes anything that big.
I don't know, there's.
No, Ken does in the back, but I don't know how to use it.
Yeah. So
You could ask Ken
there's some-
Deal. So you just need copies of a big map?
Well, they want to change that because apparently they updated it.
Oh, the roads and
Yeah,
everything?
yeah. So.
well,
You should
that's
wait
cool.
until Ken does the aerial shot.
Oh,
We
yeah.
can get it from him.
Why don't you talk to Ken Deal?
Yeah.
There's a PDF, I mean.
Yeah.
They can go to Staples if they want to.
Yeah.
Or
Accounting.
Yeah, but you can go to Fast Lines.
your planner has that digitally, the, you know, Beth and Kyle and McManus have that digitally. And it's also an exhibit within the master plan. So and I think there's a subcommittee that's already working on updating the master plan, so really that revised map should actually be added to the master plan at the time. It would be convenient since you're already
But
updating it.
Right, are they specifically looking to just do that? So
They just asked me about
has
it.
to add
and
that?
that's- Yeah.
Yeah,
they
so
just
I-
asked me
I
that.
think
Kyle
they replace
McManus
this,
does.
right?
Yeah.
So all you have to do is get a printout. That's really what they want.
It's up in your reports.
I will. It's very simple. Kyle
I'm
McManus
just
is perfect
asking,
for us.
they asked me to ask you guys, and see.
Okay,
Yeah, so.
what else you got?
Yeah.
That's an easy one.
Yeah. Other than that, not really, it's been a pretty, slow week, I guess. Other than that, it's just congratulations to Ali and the team for putting on the People Fest. That was really, really well done. I know the line went from like, what was it, from the gate to buy the tickets all the way down to Nova, where Bluefish Grill was, to the left. Where's the street? State Road, Mine Street, yeah. So it went down pretty far down. I know it was like at least 1,900 tickets plus sold, so
Nice.
that's
Yeah.
almost like according to the festival
really good.
numbers, so
Yeah.
just for an
So
event like
I
that.
had tickets, but I also had 8th grade graduation,
Oh, yeah.
you know?
That was the conflict because there wasn't, there was
So
public graduations going on.
They probably would have sold out.
Yeah,
Well, I was
but they
gonna-
were big for
It
3,000.
went till 9 o'clock.
Well, no, I was gonna go beforehand for a
Yeah.
couple hours, but then I was gonna have to take a shower again, and it was just too much.
So.
So I just watched it on TV honestly until I left and.
So I want to put this in perspective. Our former director, who's now in Princeton, not that I'm trying to shoot shade, but Ally did this and had 1,900 people.
And 19 days. Yeah,
I was gonna say, she had less than a month.
Princeton
Yeah.
barely had.
No, and there's probably more than that, like, I'm just saying that.
No, I'm just saying, I'm just, it doesn't matter what the number is, I'm just saying, this is what we would have gotten if.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, that's about it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I did want to add, Ally and her volunteers had less than a month to put that together.
Oh, I know.
It was a
But the
monumental task and they really deserve every accolade.
That's why Alan
Thank
did
you.
what she did.
Okay, so we've all said, it was a wonderful event. I really did enjoy it. So tomorrow night, there's a planning board meeting at 7 p.m. Same location as you are now. If anybody wants to stop by and say hello, Mayor and I will be there. Last week I got an invitation and I don't know if anybody else on the council did, because I just showed up to the meeting. But it was I'm gonna pull up my notes because I want to get this right. It was a pre-diagnostic meeting
With DOT.
with the DOT.
Yeah, I got it.
And there were the representatives there were both from the railroad end of the DOT and so I really didn't know what I was walking into, and the public relations end of it. It was specifically regarding Church Street, the end of Church Street that kind of butts into the back of Stangle Road that used to kind of go and swing behind the Liberty Village site. I was really just there to kind of listen and take in the comments. And this is probably more of a planning board issue at first, so I will present it more then. And Mike Campion was there, and he and I both said, we'll give a more full report tomorrow night. But essentially, the developer of the Liberty Village site and the owner of the railroad apparently has approached DOT to the railroad segment of DOT to consider shifting the existing railroad crossing from the east side, what is already approved in the site plan, the east side of the Liberty Village, the main part of the Liberty Village area, the 111 for sale houses, townhouses, to the end of Church Street, which is actually the master plan had always talked about trying to extend either Fulper or Church across to as a road, right, to Stangle. But of course the railroad crosses there, and there's a federal program that basically encourages municipalities to eliminate as many crossings as possible, specifically because you don't want cars and trains to interact. And of course, our town has 4 or 5 different broad, 4 or 5 intersections. One, of course, is on the state highway. We really don't regulate that, but the others are on Broad Street, and so Kane, the owner of the railroad and the developer of Liberty Village, had this preliminary meeting apparently a few weeks ago with the representative of DOT. Whenever you're doing any type of improvements with the railroad, the DOT reps have to come out. So apparently that was the initial meeting. That initial meeting apparently inspired this meeting, and that was the meeting that I was invited to. The proposal, and again, big picture here. There's nothing. Like I said, I was just there to kind of listen, and I don't necessarily want to speculate as to whether this would even be realistic to go forward. But there would be, as far as action items that we would need to take as a borough, there would be some action items that we would be requested to take, specifically maybe letters of support for shifting the crossing from that west side of the main part of the Liberty Village project to the Church Street side. Now, that's not eliminating a crossing, that's just moving a crossing, right? The road would extend to Stangle. The part that we would need to deal with as a council would be the implications of right-of-ways and with the Romanowski building.
Is anybody planning on presenting this, I don't know,
So-
came right to the plan?
That, well, that's,
So-
yes. So like I said, we just happen to have this meeting prior to tomorrow, but like I said, Mike and I are gonna go into a little more detail tomorrow. But the other thing I said to the developers, you would need to come in front of the planning board and have a new site plan approval. So that's another, when I say action item, hold on.
Say developer, you're talking George?
George.
Kane.
George, right now, Kane is looking for letters of
It's actually
support.
both.
But they're working together, yes.
It's actually
But George is the one who owns the site plan approval.
understood, but
So-
I'm saying it's both.
It would be an application for that. They jointly would put in an application for an extension of church. And there would be some right of way requirements, there would be some site plan reapprovals. And that doesn't, like I said, that doesn't eliminate a crossing, that only shifts a crossing. The other crossing that would be affected is actually on Central Station Road.
Right.
There's a second crossing there.
Was George there?
George was there as
Does
well
he
as his
understand it?
engineer.
Does he understand he has to come back?
Absolutely, yeah.
So just to give you some back, this is not the first time we said this story.
It's the
This
first
has
time
been
I've
going-
heard of it.
Hold on,
Yeah.
this has been going on for a year.
Well, I should
And-
say that. No, wait. Everybody, if you recall back in the fall, Kane did come in and share a site plan with us.
Right.
But I don't necessarily know if they
This
had
goes
this
back
plan in mind.
beyond that, this goes back beyond that.
Okay,
So yes, I was invited to that meeting. Obviously, I was out of town, so I couldn't go. So I think I knew that you were gonna go. The bottom line is that this is like a pie in the sky type of.
yes,
It really is.
wanna make that
And
clear.
so there are so many moving parts. I don't even know if this is actually realistic.
I completely agree, but I did
and-
wanna report on the.
Right, I don't know
the
that it's
meeting.
even realistic, I don't even know if it's something the council would actually kind of like say, okay, well, fine, we're gonna write a letter and say, yes, this is it. So, right now, this is so preliminary and so a pie in the sky that it may not even be realistic, but however, the real reason for this is because Kane was trying to get a meeting with DOT to help with another project. And he
Okay.
needed, I'm just giving you the background, so it's kind of merging, but it's really not.
So Susan, does this impede, if we don't do it, does this whole plan, pie in the sky plan, impede George from finishing the project at all?
No, not at
No,
all.
So
No, it
not
has
at all.
nothing to do with that.
No, it really does, it's really,
No,
to be honest
it-
with
it
you.
would be an add-on,
Yeah.
it would be a
Yeah,
nice to
By the
have,
time they got to the DOT.
Exactly.
right, it
Right,
would be a
and-
nice to have, not a must have.
And to be honest with you, the approved site plan for Liberty Village would really not be drastically affected. But
It's
off
not
the top of my head, I said traffic study and site plan approval, I mean, right away. And the only other thing, and like I said, I really don't wanna go into too much detail, but I did wanna report to my colleagues that I attended this meeting. The good part about it is, with the exception of any type of soft costs related to lawyers and right of ways and things like that. The good part about it is this is a federal program that would actually pay for the long-term goal of connecting
Right,
church to Stangle. So
and therein lies
we
DOT.
want to listen, we want to take it all in and see if there's an opportunity
Was the
there.
turntable on Fulbert and talked about it all,
Yes.
part of this?
Well, it was talked about in that the connectivity of that region, as you know from being on planning board, and Adrian knows as well as being on planning board, that that successful business corridor of Stangle would then be almost in support and be kind of infuse, I think, success in the area of more success into the area of
It actually,
Central
it
Station,
actually
because you're
stems
kind of-
around that. It
right,
actually
because you're kind
stems
of-
around that.
Yeah, the turntable, not turntable.
Yes,
Yes,
it
the
actually
turntable.
stems around that.
I'm
yes.
sorry, yes, no, we weren't saying anything would happen to the turntable itself, is that,
No,
I'm sorry if I
no,
missed
but
that.
No, right outside of turn. I know what you're asking, and I'm trying to give you the answer. The answer is that it stems around that. It's not, yes, so the answer to your question is yes.
Okay.
And so the bottom line is that DOT has some money to support it. And that's why Kane,
Yeah.
right, and that's why Kane is trying to get this
It may
project
be a
in.
good
I
opportunity.
think it expanded from what the original thing was to this, because that part of it is pretty new, but the bottom line is it has to do with turntable. Yes.
So anything else, the next steps might be, they might be asking the planning board and the council for
Yeah.
letters of support or some sort of compromise. Like I said,
Well, I just.
I think
just
we're way ahead of
I think this is gonna be, it's not gonna happen.
right, like I said, but I do feel an obligation to report that.
What else you got?
That is it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we're up to public comment session number one. Anybody from the public online, raise your hand. Anybody here in the audience? You can come up to the microphone, state your name and address to the record. You have 3 minutes. Hey, Tony, my name. Name and address for the record, please. You've been so patient.
Yeah, Tony Previtt, 45 North Main Street in Flemington. I was very, I guess, enthused to see the fact that the two developments there on the north end, I guess, have basically been reined in. And I just would want to ask the council, like, or even Susan, like, is there any sort of ideas about what's going to happen to those two properties in the near future as far as, like, let's just say demolition,
So what,
reuse of the
one of them
property?
is privately owned, which is the one, the old store building. That one is in the owner, ex-redeveloper's hands. And then the Guitar Boy building is owned by the guy who owns Steve's. So he had it on first choice refusal to that ex-redeveloper. So the redevelopment committees for both those sites will be meeting in a week or less to discuss the next steps on moving forward with whatever. But like I said, that one property, Steve may be desirous of, you know, getting into another agreement or having the borough get into another agreement with a redeveloper, but the old store building, the red building on the corner of Hopewell, Foran and North Main is owned by the former redeveloper. So they have to do what they're doing.
In terms of the sections of each property that are basically dilapidated and marked as hazardous, would there be any way that the borough could have these properties just, you know, demolition?
Not without eminent domain, which could take years.
The property maintenance department does have a regular they have an agreement with the landscape company to
On
be
the
able
one.
to, on the northern site.
The store.
Right,
We have to lean on that property
right.
to make sure it's mowed and.
a landscape,
And
basically.
snow removed.
Because basically the properties are, you know, I don't know, they're dangerous in and of themselves, but you know, you can have vagrants in there, animals in there. It definitely is a negative
You know,
reflection.
that's,
And I'm just saying that, you know, all these properties are in this stage of, what are we gonna do with them? You know, who's gonna bite the bullet here? There's no question in my mind that, you know, these properties should be torn down. No
so,
question about it.
you know, I'm not comfortable talking about options in public. I mean, it's a council prerogative and an executive session to discuss this. Because we could still end up with litigation on these, you know, we don't know. And it's also, you know, private property, so, I'm just gonna leave it with what I said. It's a comment period, we really don't have to answer questions.
One other question in terms of, well, we all, you know, have experienced probably another hot summer. I know I saw something today in France, they have a week of 104-degree temperatures there. And they were going into all these sorts of, you know, things about keeping people cool, this and that. We used to have a community pool, you know, in the borough. And that's sort of one step.
We're coming to the planning board tomorrow night.
It's on the planning board agenda.
It was crossed on the environmental
It-
commission
it-
last week too, so something great's happening.
They're looking at bringing that back on board to very soon.
They're in for their site plan tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They actually applied last year and then it was delayed a bit and now they're back in front of the planning board.
Public, it's public.
They're moving forward.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's gonna happen.
I'll find time. Other than that, I know just in the north end, I've been, working with Adrian here. There seems to be, and I'm just gonna use the term, a lot of pollution on the north end. There's noise, there's trash, there's, what you wanna call scenic, pollution. It really is, in terms of my, let's say if I wanted to sell my property, get out of Flemington. It really would be a hard sell. In other words, I have a few rental properties in the area. But let's just say this, back in April, first week of April, maybe the chief will comment on it. There was a raid directly behind my backyard where there were SWAT team members, heavily armed, going into an apartment, I imagine. For, as it turned out, a drug den. So now, I had my dogs in the backyard. I was 20 yards from 20 heavily armed people. And, SWAT, and this was in the days of ICE, when ICE was not heavy. I mean, if shots started to ring out, I hadn't even no knowledge of this raid going on. And
It
we're
was
talking,
not done through the Farmington Borough Police, it was done through the county prosecutor's office.
well, again, this heavy weapons.
Just, I
I
understand that.
had pictures and a video.
But there's no way that the police could have told you about it,
Well, again, I understand that.
warned you about it.
But again, this is part and parcel of living on the north end.
Not necessarily, I had councilmen arrested right in front of my house, in
Good for
2023.
you. Good for
So, police cars right outside my house, and I don't live on the north end, I live in the very far east end.
Now, I'm gonna just ask the chief one thing. In terms of noise pollution, I have a lot of these vehicles with these mufflers, that just, I have a house 3 doors down from me, and I swear to God, the guy waits for the light to change at the intersection to green, so he can gun it out of his driveway and go right up Main Street. But there's gotta be a half a dozen of these vehicles in and around Flemington, and you can hear them. And I'm saying to myself, well, what if another dozen people decided to be NASCAR drivers and, opted for these mufflers, aftermarket? I'm like, yeah, this could get away from us here. It's a motor vehicle, but it's just something for the borough to think about, maybe an ordinance that, you don't go gunning this thing at 6 o'clock in the morning as you go out, to work or whatever, but you hear these vehicles all during the day. You hear them in the afternoon, you hear them, mid-morning, and like I say, there has to be probably a good half dozen in my general area that they're coming
What time
about.
does your neighbor leave in the morning? The chief can have a car sitting there waiting.
Well, again, they come up, North Main Street, up the hill.
Well, you just said that he waits till the light changes so he can.
Well,
drive out.
that's one person, but there's others that.
No, I'm saying the chief can have somebody, they can't get somebody after the fact, right?
Well, no.
We get these complaints about cars revving high-speed engines a lot. But unless somebody gives us a make and model or a license plate or an exact time of day that they're commuting every single day. Now, you just said your neighbor waits so he can rev out in the morning. So the chief could be there and have a car there to get the guy.
Well,
So you need to talk to him about that so he can do that.
in essence, this is one specific, individual.
It's gotta be an enforceable ordinance.
But I'm just saying that overall, it doesn't seem to be going to a good place. In other words, like I said, imagine if another dozen cars in Flemington had this option on their vehicles and they started. Now, whether that's a state, motor vehicle, I don't know. It's just sort of quality of life. It's just something that I'm going to mention. But again, the north end has a lot, a lot of things that just aren't appealing to me anymore. The traffic, these buildings, Little Elvis. It just seems like it's going the wrong way. And I just want to alert council to that. I know we're busy in this area of town and that area of town. But when I say like, hey, listen, that that little Elvis building, as I call it, it should be down. It shouldn't be up another 10 years while somebody debates about who he's gonna sell the property to. And I believe that's where government should step in and say, or the planning board say, they gotta come down. You know, the owners of the building have a responsibility and they should go down. They're a hazard. They offer nothing positive to the image of Flemington. And I can go on and on. But again, it's been too long. So thank you very much.
Anybody else from the public?
I don't see anybody with their hands up.
Anybody else here in the audience? Yeah, I'm seeing none. We have minutes to approve. Regular session June 8, 2026. Then a motion, please. Is there a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Executive session June 8, 2026. Then a motion, please.
Parker move. Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Consent agenda. Resolution 2026-96, resolution authorizing a contract with Corrego Property LLC to approve public safety hazards at 8 Leesman Lane, Block 35, Lot 17, and authorizing the tax collector to name the property. Resolution 2026-97, resolution authorizing a contract with Corrego Properties LLC to abate public safety hazards at 307 Highway 202, Block 44, Lot 6, and authorizing the tax collector to name the property. Resolution 2026-111, resolution approving a refund for the redemption tax sale certificate on block 21, lot 4. Resolution 2026-112, resolution approving a refund for the redemption of tax sale certificate on block 36, lot 9. Does anybody want any of these taken for a separate vote? Seeing none, can I have a motion, please?
Parker move.
Is there a second? Second. Roll call, please.
Councilman Aries?
Yes.
Council President Engelhardt?
Yes.
Councilwoman Fasora?
Yes.
Councilwoman Herbert?
Yes.
Councilman Levitt?
Yes.
And Council President Parker?
Yes.
We have no introduction of ordinances, public hearing, ordinance 2026-12, an ordinance amending section chapter 7A21 residential permit parking, 24-hour municipal code to create a 24-hour residential permit parking zone for the Park Avenue extension. Can I have a motion to open up this public hearing to the public? Is there a second?
Parker move.
All in favor?
Aye.
Public hearing is now open to the public. Anybody wishing to speak, either raise your hand if you're online or come up to the microphone if you're not. Being none, can I have a motion to close the public hearing to the public?
Parker move.
Is there a second? Herbert will second. All in favor?
Aye.
Can I have a motion to adopt ordinance 2026-12? Sarah will move. Is there a second?
Engelhardt will second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilman Rice?
Yes.
Council Vice President Engelhardt?
Yes.
Councilwoman Fasora?
Yes.
Councilwoman Herbert?
Yes.
Councilman Levitt?
Yes.
And Council President Parker?
Yes.
Ordinance 2026-13, an ordinance amending 7A traffic schedules to remove a handicap parking spot on Spring Street. Can I have a motion to open up the ordinance to the public?
Parker move.
Is there a second?
Sarah will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
This ordinance is now open to public hearing. Anybody from the public wishing to speak, please raise your hand online. Not, please come to the microphone and state your name and address for the record. Seeing that, can I have a motion to close ordinance 2026-13 to the public?
Sarah, I'm sorry, one more.
We do? Oh, okay, thank you for catching that.
Did he go?
I think they were thinking we were on something else.
Okay,
I don't know that, I think they took the right and,
all right.
Okay.
They're here for something
Can
else.
I have a motion to close the public?
Parker move.
Is there a second?
Sarah will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I have a motion to adopt ordinance 2026-13. Herbert will move. Is there a second?
Parker second.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilman Rice?
Yes.
Council Vice President Engelhardt?
Yes.
Councilwoman Fasora?
Yes.
Councilwoman Herbert?
Yes.
Councilman Levitt?
Yes.
And Council President Parker?
Yes.
Thank you. Resolution 2026-113, resolution approving the purchase of the 2013 Ford Interceptor utility vehicle from Lance Royal Emergency Vehicle LLC, which is not to exceed an amount of $7,000. Can I have a motion, please?
Sarah will move.
Is there a second?
Engelhardt will second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilman Rice?
Yes.
Council Vice President Engelhardt?
Yes.
Councilwoman Fasora?
Yes.
Councilwoman Herbert?
Yes.
Councilman Levitt?
Yes.
And Council President Parker?
Yes.
Resolution 114, resolution to renew the Borough of Flemington liquor license for the 2026-2027 license term. May I have a motion, please?
Engelhardt will move.
Is there a second?
Flood will second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilman Rice.
Yes.
Council Vice President Engelhardt.
Yes.
Councilwoman Fasara.
Yes.
Councilwoman Herbert.
Yes.
Councilman Levitt.
Yes.
Council President Parker.
Yes.
Resolution 2026-115, resolution approving Jose Flores for admission to active membership in the State of New Jersey Firemen's Association. Can I have a motion, please?
Sarah will move.
Is there a second?
Flood will second.
Discussion? Roll call?
Councilman Rice.
Yes.
Council Vice President Engelhardt.
Yes.
Councilwoman Fasara.
Yes.
Councilwoman Herbert.
Yes.
Councilman Levitt.
Yes.
And Council President Parker.
Yes.
Resolution 2026-116, resolution of the Borough Council of the Borough of Flemington reappointing Carlos Connor as municipal clerk. Can I have a motion, please?
Parker move.
Is there a second?
Engelhardt will second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilman Rice.
Yes.
Council Vice President Engelhardt.
Yes.
Councilwoman Fasara.
Yes.
Councilman Herbert.
Yes.
Councilman Levitt.
Yes.
And Council President Parker.
Congratulations, Carlos.
Who put that one?
Sorry.
First and I.
It's a pleasure. Let us know if you want it. If you want it.
Public comment, hold on, number
Can,
2.
wait, can Trent do his resolution?
They hit the Juneteenth.
I was gonna ask,
Oh.
everyone had that.
Can I have a motion to amend the agenda?
Engelhardt will move.
Is there a second?
Flood will second.
Would that be 117?
Yeah.
Yes.
Councilman Levitt, would you please make a motion to move resolution 2026-117?
Of course.
Is there a second?
Parker move.
All in favor?
Aye.
Do you want to read it, Councilman Levitt?
I mean, I can unless you guys don't trust me, it's the contents of it, but.
Maybe they say June 18th. Is it long?
Is it long?
I don't know, that's a minute.
You want to AI summarize it?
It's a resolution recognizing June 19th as Juneteenth, National Independence Day in the Borough of Flemington,
Okay,
and honoring it and going through the brief history.
very good.
Yeah.
Very good, thank you.
And I'd like to thank the township of, I believe more was what you can see, politely borrowed it.
Because we couldn't find the one that we passed for the last couple of years.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Funny.
All right, public comment period number 2, anybody from the public wishing to speak online, please raise your hand. There we go. Can't see who that is.
I'm just gonna allow him to talk. You got on mute.
Oh, we need to vote on that resolution, Carlos, thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Rice.
Yes.
Council Vice President Engelhardt.
Yes.
Councilwoman Fasara.
Yes.
Councilwoman Herbert.
Yes.
Councilman Levitt.
Yes.
And Council President Parker.
Thank you, sorry about that, thank you, Councilwoman. Public comment number 2, we have somebody online.
Yeah.
Your name and address for the record, please.
Tim Harley, 5 Walters Lane,
I'm sorry, what's the address?
5 Walters Lane.
You. Go ahead, you got the floor for 3 minutes.
Okay, so I'm looking, so ordinance 2026-14 was passed as is?
No, we tabled it.
Okay, yeah, I guess I got called out for a second, so that's been tabled for further discussion?
Right.
All right, then I missed that, sorry, I had something.
Well, it was tabled off the agenda,
Yeah.
so then updated agenda, did you have it on there at all, Mr. Hillary?
Okay, so that's still in discussion. All right, that's the only thing concerned with
Okay,
is when that comes back up again. I know there was the previous discussion, I'm assuming you looked at that too, the penalties and everything else. You do have an existing ordinance that covers violations for all ordinance violations that has the $2,000 limit and the 90 days per prison, also 90 days for community service. That's in 3.7-3, which covers all ordinance violations. So that's already covered in the town's ordinances regarding violations. And those are limits, those are maximum limits set by state statute. So that's already existing on the borough's books, but how you want to do that, I thought that's something this didn't have, it allows for community service besides imprisonment, because I know that was a concern from the council at the last meeting. So we're looking to get this implemented as soon as possible. More incidents happened over the weekend. Again, way beyond harassment. So, okay.
Thank you. So where did we leave off on that? We left off on it. We were gonna talk to Dave Giuliani, we were gonna talk to Sergeant McNally. And the issue, and we were also, I think there was a total unanimity about getting jail time out of that ordinance. I mean, what's the pleasure of the council at this point? I mean, there is no, although these homeowners were saying that our ordinance says that we can tell people we can fine them for having stuff on the sidewalk, we really can't anywhere in town, so, I mean, we don't have the teeth to do that. So,
I think we should just think about it a little bit.
should we ask Sergeant McNally come back in and talk about it?
I'd like to have, Dave come in.
Yeah.
Dave and.
Yeah, I spoke with Dave about this after the last meeting. I also went back and forth with, I'm sure I don't know if anybody else responded. To
You
the,
did it really well.
to the, gentleman's emails.
Yes.
But
Yes,
they
both
both
of them.
sent emails, so I responded to those and spoke to, Dave, as well as our police officers, as well as a couple of the other residents that we didn't hear from. Yeah, I'd like to get their feedback, but I think in general, I'm just speaking for myself, not for everybody, obviously. In general, I'd like to see it move forward. I think Dave will express the fact, and so will I think the police, that putting something similar to what we presented last time on the books will be helpful to both the property maintenance officer and the police department. So that's good, but I think everybody agrees the
Imprisonment.
imprisonment is
and-
off the
and
table.
The imprisonment and up to whatever dollar amount is, I just think.
Right.
it's just-
And I think my only question of all of the things is, I don't know if we could, I think we should make sure the wording is just right, to kind of clarify. I know that people putting stuff out on the curb is ugly, but I also don't necessarily want to I don't want to necessarily
We don't want to
and,
So,
yeah, so I think that's actually where I'd like Giuliani to.
Yeah. I
come
mean,
in.
I do disagree. I agree about the prison thing, but I think the judge needs discretion to review offender
I'm fine with
to
that.
have a larger
but I-
kind of now.
No, I don't know, because this is just, for me, I just haven't heard this from anyone else in the borough. Other than this one street,
That's-
and I get it, and I understand how aggravating it is, I've been in this, with Jerry over this for the last several years. I just think that needs to be.
So our next council meeting is July 20th. Chief, can you make sure that Sergeant McNally is here?
Yeah, I can definitely mark it down and make sure he's all
Okay,
available.
and Carla, can you let Dave Giuliani know that you'd like him here too? And we can move that up to a work session in the beginning of the meeting, and that's not a problem.
Yeah.
If Dave is gonna be here, we can.
Yeah.
have alcohol.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's a good idea.
Sure, we can do that.
That's a good-
Sure. Okay, getting back to public comment, anybody else from the public? online?
Anybody else?
Okay, Steve,
Oh, wait, hold on. Who's this?
yeah, what's going on?
Oh, it's this.
Mr. Hurley, is your hand up because you want to speak again, or because you forgot to take your hand down? Okay, go ahead.
Sure.
You got-
Unmuted Tim Hurley goes, yeah, so I understand now, so it'll be waiting to the July 20th, right, to have another discussion with the property maintenance. So no action will be taken between now and another month at least,
No.
correct?
Right, we don't have a meeting until then.
Right. So, okay, my concern again, is this keep happening? I've been calling the police in the last several weeks, assuming something's going to happen here. I can get back to calling the police on a regular basis every day almost, if we need to, because we need to have something done before we have a problem, a serious problem. I said out there Saturday, there were, and with the parents, approval watching them. They had their middle son from across the street heaving the basketball towards the houses. Heaving it, not playing basketball, throwing it underhanded as hard as he could towards the houses from the other side of the street. That is not, that's harassment. That's unsupervised mayhem.
You're welcome to come, come to that meeting. It's a work session. You can speak about it under public comment in advance and at the end of the meeting.
Have to file a complaint?
Please.
Yeah, you said, and you have my comments on the previous obstruction. Also, I added some comments at the end just to clarify some things, because what he had in there regarding, even the garbage pails, they're allowed to put them on the sidewalk. Well, remember, right now we're required to put them in the street. So
We are required, except for certain streets in the town, like Court Street, which is too narrow.
right, but I'm just saying, look at that. I've made other comments on it, but I'm just saying, as long as it's clear, we just need to get this, done, something done. Like I said, we've been holding off on certain things just because hoping this was going to get done. But like I said, I've got other things, other priorities and other health issues, and this is just making it worse.
Thank you. All right, anybody else from the public?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, authorizing payment of bills in the amount of $360,923.04. Have a motion, please.
I will move.
That's it. Sorry, moved and Engelhardt seconded.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Okay, Councilman Rice.
Yes.
Council Vice President Engelhardt.
Yes.
Councilwoman Fasaro.
Yes.
Councilwoman Herbert.
Yes.
Councilman Levitt.
Yes.
Council President.
Anything else? Anything else for Bill Hans?
Yeah, he's gonna stay on for the executive.
Oh, yes, okay, all right. Okay, that's the end of the regular meeting, we have an executive session with 2 items, public safety cameras and personnel TBA negotiations. Can I have a motion to enter into this executive session?
Okay, move.
For a second,
Sorry.
all in favor?
Aye.
We'll take 5-6 minute break.
Yeah.
TV out there?
I was about to say that.
I don't say. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
I would have-